I hope you're having a terrific Tuesday. Welcome to the 4 to 5. I'm Lauren Coleman here with Tim Buckley and Chad Silver.
Tim, nice to have you here today.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be here with you for just a couple of seconds, and then I'm going to go outside because it's sunny and 75, and I'm the weather guy, so I get to enjoy that.
And it's a nice day to be outside.
It is. It really is. So we're going to talk a lot more about that in a few.
You used the term Chamber of Commerce weather yesterday, and what a perfect week to have the Chamber of Commerce looking for good weather.
Yeah, we have the ACC folks in town, right?
Yes, tomorrow.
Hopefully we can keep it around for next week as well with the guys, but I'm not so sure. It doesn't always work out that way.
Okay, we'll check in on that in just a minute. Tim, thank you. But first, the big story we are following this hour, developments in the debate over student loan forgiveness. The Supreme Court is hearing arguments today over President Biden's plan to forgive student loan debt for more than 40 million Americans.
After numerous lower court challenges, the program is on hold until the justices decide.
Careful.
Demonstrators gathered outside the Supreme Court as justices consider two different challenges. One is by 6 Republican-led states that say the debt forgiveness program will cost them money. In court papers, they say it's a breathtaking and transformative exercise of power. The other challenge is by 2 students who say the program should do more to relieve student debt.
This is preventing people from doing what they have to do: pay bills, start families, continue with their businesses.
During oral arguments, Chief Justice John Roberts questioned the fairness of just forgiving loans for college students.
Nobody's telling the person who is trying to set up the lawn service business that he doesn't have to pay his loan. He still does, even though his tax dollars are going to support the forgiveness of the loan for the college graduate who's now going to make a lot more than him.
The justices, 6 conservatives and 3 liberals, will eventually decide if President Biden has the authority to wipe away $500 billion in student debt. The president's lawyers are arguing the federal law grants him the power to forgive the loans, while opponents say he is going too far. Under the plan, up to 43 million people would be eligible for some federal student loan relief. People making less than $125,000 a year could see $10,000 in student loan debt forgiven, and people who got Pell Grants could get up to $20,000 forgiven. A decision is expected by the end of the current term in late June. After Mr. Biden announced the plan last August, 26 million people applied before lower courts put it all on hold.
Coming up tonight at 5:30, we're continuing the talk about student loan forgiveness and digging into everything you need to know about the case being heard in Washington. You can also find more about student loans on our website, WFMYnews2.com.
All right, let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup now. First up today, we've got an update on the arrest of that now former Page High School teacher and coach accused of sexual misconduct with students. You'll remember we found out from the DA's office that Mark Johnson Jr. had previously worked for the district in 2019, but resigned amid sexual misconduct allegations with a student. But then the district hired him back. We asked the district about that today. A representative told us they do criminal background checks for new employees, but Johnson had no charge or conviction against him. The 2019 incident was only an allegation and no one followed through with charges. Meantime, Johnson is in jail under a $1 million bond. He faces life in prison if convicted.
Police identified the man shot multiple times outside Gatsby's pub in Winston-Salem early this morning. Investigators say Quante Donnell Wilder died despite efforts to save his life. Police say they believe a fight involving multiple people broke out outside the bar. They say multiple guns were fired and Wilder was fatally wounded. Police arrested Nehemiah Chandler and charged him with Wilder's murder. This is the 13th homicide in Winston-Salem so far this year.
The off-ramp on Highway 29 near Gate City Boulevard in Greensboro is still closed this afternoon as hazmat workers clean up fuel from a gas truck that crashed there last night. No one was hurt and police say there aren't any safety concerns with the spill. It's not clear when that ramp will reopen.
Extended SNAP benefits in tomorrow, putting more than 1 million North Carolina families in tighter financial situations. Social Services says the program helped roughly 1.6 million people in North Carolina afford food during the beginning of the pandemic. Starting tomorrow, the average SNAP household will see a monthly loss of $95. That means more families likely will become more reliant on other food assistance resources. The Second Harvest Food Bank is hosting a community food distribution event on Thursday. It's from 8:45 a.m. to noon at the Bowman Gray Stadium parking lot in Winston-Salem. The organization will provide fresh produce for families in need while supplies last.
All right, let's talk about how nice the weather is and what's yet to come as we go through the rest of the week. Today, probably going to be the peak here. This is about the nicest that it will be, but we still have some nice sunshine on the way. 75 your current temperature in Greensboro. Looking at you in Winston-Salem, still that blue sky as well. Even warmer, 77 the current temperature. I did check the record high for today's date officially is 79 degrees. So we're not quite likely to get there, but it's at least within the conversation across our hometowns. A very warm day for this Tuesday. Now a little bit of a breeze if it's a little warmer than you'd like. There's some breeze to kind of move the air around, and still funny that we're talking about this in February. It's been so warm so frequently, and this is just going to wrap a bow on one of the warmer Februaries that we've ever had. It's in the top 5 of warmest months there. We have clear sky as far as the eye can see across the deep south and over to Texas. We are going to keep that around for tomorrow. However, there could be some clouds that develop at times, and as a result, I'm going to lower our high for tomorrow just a little bit, upper 60s to near 70, but still dry for Wednesday. By the middle and end of the week, here's Thursday. This is where we start to see some rain return. We're likely to have rain early Thursday morning, then a bit of a break, then some more rain Thursday evening, and then some thunderstorms likely to move our way for Friday afternoon. I do have concern that some of those on your Friday could become strong to possibly even severe. So we have a lot to talk about coming up in a few minutes on your extended forecast. For now, take a look at the rain chances and we'll have a drier, cooler weekend here in the Triad.
Check this out. The city of Burlington is set to break ground on an entertainment venue at the Sock Puppets Baseball Stadium. It'll be along the first base line. Organizers say fans will have a place to enjoy the games with a view that makes them feel like they're playing right field. There's a groundbreaking ceremony Friday morning. The city says the new venue will allow the ballpark to stay open year-round to host an array of events.
This announcement comes as the Greensboro Grasshoppers are developing plans for something similar. New Hoppers owner Andy Sadler planning for an entertainment building north of the stadium, featuring new restaurants, bars, businesses, and apartments. Sadler hopes to have the project up and running in the next year or two. I think this is very exciting news. Anytime you can add some type of entertainment venue to a city, it's a great thing. And it's so nice they'll be able to use this venue outside of the baseball season.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, you've been to baseball games. You've seen downtown Greensboro for a couple of months. It's very active, very busy, but then for several months, it just kind of sits there.
Yeah, just kind of crickets.
Right, and it's a beautiful venue. So when I did this story with Andy Sandler a couple weeks ago, he did something similar in Kannapolis when he bought the baseball team there. They've hosted 200 events outside of baseball.
Wow.
Including they had like a nationally televised dog show. They had a kickball tournament with celebrities like NASCAR drivers, like that was a fundraiser, and just all sorts of things.
Maybe we can bring that here. I like the celebrity kickball game and even a concert or something of that nature. It's such a beautiful venue. Why not?
Absolutely. Good things happening in Burlington too. We'll be right back.
Oral care is important to our overall health. However, for decades, was there a reason it was going in and out? Oh, I was like thinking I wasn't supposed to be reading at that time. Oral care is important to our overall health. However, for decades, many Black Americans have faced challenges accessing quality care. A pair of Winston-Salem dentists are on a mission to break down barriers by helping to bring up the next generation of Black dentists.
So real quick, I'm just gonna feel around here.
Improving confidence and self-esteem.
So I think Lindsay, maybe it was between 30 and 31.
With a clean set of pearly whites.
Not seeing any cavities or anything.
It's something Dr. Malik Johnson takes pride in every day.
We do your fillings. We have hygienists to do your cleanings. We'll do, certain root canals. We'll do crowns. We'll do extractions. Pretty much everything.
Dr. Johnson is a new general dentist at Eric J. Sadler, DDS and Associates in Winston-Salem.
You okay?
His interest in dentistry sparked in high school after breaking his front teeth during a game of basketball.
I had a general dentist back in Charlotte, where I'm from, who gave me crowns on my front two teeth. And I remember just, going from feeling like I had lines on my teeth to feeling like I had a beautiful smile again. I felt confident. I kind of fell in love with the idea of being a dentist and giving people that warm, fuzzy feeling,
The road to success wasn't easy. According to the American Dental Association, less than 4% of dentists in the U.S. are Black, compared to more than 70% of their white counterparts.
Okay. Feeling real numb up there?
Dr. Johnson attributes much of his success to his boss, Dr. Eric Sadler.
I want to go ahead and get started. If you have any issues at all, just make sure you raise your left hand, okay?
The owner of the practice where he currently works.
Dr. Sadler, just in general, is very big on mentorship and giving back, especially to people that look like us. So I remember being in college, undergrad, and Dr. Sadler helped me out with my dental school applications. Definitely was somebody that wrote letters of recommendation for me. He was somebody that took me to conferences and stuff with him.
How's that working out for you?
Well, I can't tell. I just started it last week.
Dr. Sadler tells me a diverse dental workforce is critical to creating equal access to quality care, citing cultural competence and understanding.
But the main thing is I think the patients really want to go to someone that they can identify with. It's a trust factor there.
He says the lack of Black dentists essentially boils down to exposure in dental school admissions.
Because you have a lot of qualified students here, but they just are not getting into the schools. You have a higher majority of students going to the Howard University and Meharry University, but you don't have a lot of students getting into the predominantly white universities. You don't see, usually you see maybe up to maybe 10% that get into the schools, but that's a great number when it does happen. It doesn't happen every year.
From mentorship
All right, you okay, Mr. B?
to partnership, Dr. Johnson and Dr. Sadler hope their bond will not only produce healthy smiles, but improve diversity in the field they love most.
And just make sure everything stays like it is, nice and healthy, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Not bad for a Morehouse grad.
Sometimes we have to work 2 times as hard to get to where we need to be. So I think we just need to continue to have these conversations, show people what it's like in this profession, and encourage them that if you work hard and do what you have to do, you can be here too.
For WFMY News 2, I'm Lauren Coleman.
That's a great story.
Love this story.
I'm shocked that only 4% of dentists are Black.
A lot of it has to do with that exposure and seeing people that look like you to get you interested in it. I know Dr. Sadler said one of the biggest things is mentorship and taking the charge to reach out to younger people, and then also younger people, if they're interested in something like that, reaching out to them so they can answer their questions. But that's what they're out here to do, to show that it is possible, but also the admissions. He was talking about applications. A lot of kids, they're just not getting into the school, so it could be they might not have everything that they need necessary to get in, and that's why that mentorship is so important.
That's great. I wish more people liked going to the dentist.
Yes.
I love it.
I like going to the dentist too. I actually told Dr. Sadler when I was younger I wanted to be a dentist, and he said, you know, it's never too late. And he was telling me he knew of people, beyond their 30s who actually went back to dental school. So, anything's possible.
Wow, that's really cool. Well, as you know, x-rays allow dentists to spot cavities and other issues in your mouth, but there's some concern about their safety. Some people believe x-rays can actually cause health problems. Our Verify team looked into it today.
Going to the dentist isn't usually a fun experience, but it's necessary to keep our mouths healthy. Some visits involve an x-ray, or 20. Verify viewer Jenny texted us to ask whether those x-rays could cause cancer. So Jenny, let's verify. Can dental x-rays increase your risk of getting cancer? Our sources are the American Dental Association, the Food and Drug Administration, A review of low-dose radiation risks published in the Journal of the National Cancer Institute and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Every day, we're exposed to a little bit of radiation. It occurs naturally from the sun overhead and the rocks and soil under our feet. Getting a common set of dental x-rays is about equal to the amount of radiation we're exposed to in a typical day. And like all forms of radiation exposure, there's a small risk of it causing cancer. The National Cancer Institute said after reviewing 26 studies on low-dose radiation that exposure should be kept as low as reasonably achievable. And the CDC acknowledges that any added exposures, including from imaging procedures, slightly increases the risk of developing cancer later in life. So, yes, dental x-rays can increase your risk of getting cancer, but the risk is small. The ADA and FDA still recommend x-rays as needed, but suggest dentists limit the number performed on healthy patients. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
All right, we're here on the last day of February, everybody, and kind of fittingly, for this month anyway, we're ending on a very warm note. It has been an exceptionally warm February so far, and it holds true for today also. Look at your numbers here. These are high temperatures throughout the day. 75 in Greensboro so far, 78 in Lexington, and honestly, pretty close. Our record high for today's date is 79 back in 1948. I've updated our calendar here. It shows you every day that has happened throughout the month so far, and all of the red boxes indicate above average temperatures. We have had that 22 of our 28 days, and this honestly is likely to go down as our second warmest February on record. We'll have the official number for that tomorrow once we calculate everything, but impressive stuff. In fact, for this month too, we've only had 4 nights that have been below freezing. That is just super rare for us. In fact, we've never had a February with fewer freezing nights. That's a new weather record for our area. High pressure has been in control, keeping us sunny today. Now for tomorrow, a little bit of cooler air nudges in from the north. That could increase our cloud cover a little bit as we go into the day. And those extra clouds likely to keep our temperature back just a bit compared to where we were for today. Upper 60s should be your highs. Rain returns when? Well, Thursday morning looks likely to me. We'll have a round there to start the day, then a break in the action for Thursday afternoon, and then more rain coming up Thursday night into Friday morning. Now, one time frame I'm still concerned about would be Friday afternoon. There's likely to be a cold front that pushes across our area. When that arrives, we're likely to see some strong and possibly severe thunderstorms. So keep Friday in mind through your forecast as we go throughout the rest of the week. By the way, people have asked, are we done with winter? The answer is no. Over the next couple of weeks, we're likely to start seeing colder than average weather by the middle of March. That's likely to mean overnights back below freezing for the first time in a little while. We're not done yet, everybody. The weekend looks fine though. 66 and sunny for Saturday. I've upped that temperature a lot. Sunday though, a little cooler.
Dr. Daniel Williams is certified with performing the first successful open heart surgery.
Coach Lamont talks about the importance of sticking to the plan, even if someone else did it first.
Dr. Daniel Williams founded the first Black-owned hospital in America and performed the world's first successful heart surgery. The key word in Dr. Williams' history-making endeavor is successful. That means others tried to conduct heart surgery but never succeeded in the endeavor. Just because someone else did it does not mean that you can't do it. You will get the results intended for you based off of the energy you give in the process. This is the time to commit yourself to your next big endeavor and no longer focusing on the results others got from their efforts. There's no comparison. What's for you is for you, and the results will eventually speak for themselves. This is Coach Lamont. Make today your best you day. I'll see you tomorrow.
A Chick-fil-A in Pennsylvania is getting some heat for taking a stand against unruly children. The store posted this message on Facebook last week. It says kids under 16 will no longer be allowed to eat in the restaurant without a parent or guardian. The restaurant says kids are coming from a nearby bounce park and acting inappropriate. Children are still welcome to order food to go, but they cannot eat inside.
So this story got us thinking. I asked you on my Facebook page, should there be age restrictions at dine-in and fast food restaurants? Nafisa says, I think it should be up to the establishment. This way you have a choice. I love kids, whether it's babies or teenagers, so it doesn't matter to me. Sharon Williams wrote, I think fine dining at dinner hours, yes. Outside of that, doesn't seem fair. Almost a punishment for parents with young kids. Angela Faison, parents should be able to discern if their children can sit and eat at a table quietly and respectfully. If not, keep the children at home. Lamar WD says sometimes it is not the kids or younger crowds that cause problems at the restaurants. Sometimes it is the older crowds that bring the problem. A lot of good points there.
I don't know where I stand on this. I don't have a strong opinion one way or the other, but I can see if you're this Pennsylvania restaurant, you've got this bounce house nearby, and you've got all these kids coming in and acting a fool, and you want to do something about it. I mean, I get that.
I think, like some of the commenters said, it's up to the establishment, but I think as a parent, you should be able to tell if your child's going to be, appropriate or not at the table, and then you can decide maybe we need to get a babysitter for tonight, but if not, bring them on in. But I think, it should be up to the parent to, keep their kid calm.
So in this case, they're unaccompanied, right? Like they're on
like
their
they're
own.
not with their
and
parents.
Okay.
Could this not be handled with like a no loitering sign, or they have their own rules? It says like no hanging out, no loitering. Whatever.
Right.
You could probably do that. I think a business can kind of do whatever they want in this case. I also think if you're going to a really nice restaurant and you say, kids don't bother me. If there's a kid crying at the table next to you, you're lying if you're saying that's not bothering you.
Yeah, it does.
And this is your anniversary dinner? Come on.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
I think when it comes to the fast food, it might be extreme to say below 16 need a guardian, because if you're like 14, 15, you know how to act. This could be an isolated event, but it's up to the business if they say they've been having a lot of trouble. But I wonder if it will impact sales at all.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like they're refusing service, right? Like you just can't eat there. You can get it to go. You can go through the drive-thru. Well, I guess you can't go through the drive-thru because you can't drive. But you can get it to go, and you just can't eat there.
So also, will they start checking ID? Because I look kind of young. Some people still think I look 16 now.
What?
My mall did this when I was in high school. They said no kids under 18 after a certain hour.
All right.
All right, we
Debate
gotta go.
amongst yourselves.
That's right.
Better get used to the sound of basketball. March Madness is taking over Greensboro for the next 3 weeks.
Crews finish installing the court for the women's ACC tournament. They tip off tomorrow at the Greensboro Coliseum. After that, the men's ACC tournament comes to town, followed by the first and second rounds of the NCAA championship tournament.
Greensboro is really living up to its reputation of tourney town. Welcome to the 4 to 5. I'm Chad Silber here alongside Lauren Coleman, and we're going to catch up with Tim Buckley shortly.
We got a lot to get into this half hour. The Grimsley baseball team opens their season tonight at a new stadium, a reptile cafe, and we asked you on Facebook, are you a pancake, waffle, or French toast type of person?
But first, we've got to talk about March Madness. Get to any Wake Forest men's basketball home game early, and this is what you will see. This is Cameron Hildreth out early warming up.
Yeah, the sophomore guard from England is always the first player on the court. That dedication and extra work has been a big reason why his level of play has improved this season, and now the Demon Deacons have a chance to go on a run during March Madness.
Honestly, I think it's just confidence. You know, in the summer, like putting in a lot of work, and then like having confidence in my game. Like I feel like I'm, you know, good enough to be able to do what I do, and that's why I do it. And also trust with from the coaches and the teammates, like they trust me to do, you know, what I do, and I feel like that's one big thing as well. Freshman year coming in is always a learning curve. Any freshman, you know, there's like very small chunk of people that come in as a freshman and get to play, and if there is, then you know they're very special, whatever. But yeah, after the season, you know, I had conversations with coaches, and they said to me after the season that this year, when the next year was going to be like important for me, and it's going to be a separation year. And you know, I just took that. I never really got in my feelings about not playing much or not doing what I wanted to be able to do. And there's a lot of differences, of course. Like the style of play is very different. Learning how to play college, you know, one big thing was playing off 2 feet, getting in the lane, being on balance, taking the right shots. There's a lot of adaptation that I had to take, but you know, the coaches supported me, the players would support me around me, and overall, I think it was good. Knowing the structure of Wake Forest and how the offense works and how, you know, we play is definitely something that was like good for me, because I'm able to already be involved in it, and I can help the newcomers that come in. So the new freshmen, the transfers, like, you know, just being here from last year has helped me a lot.
And Hildreth is averaging 12.5 points per game, up from just 4 points last season. The Demon Deacons' final regular season home game is tonight against Boston College. Wake will be in Greensboro next week for the ACC tournament. I just love this time of year when all eyes, basketball eyes, are on Greensboro.
It's just so exciting, March Madness. I love how everybody gets their brackets and how one game can change it all, and everybody's like, oh no, or yes, I'm winning. I just love all the excitement in the newsroom and just everybody texting about it. It's a good time.
And the anticipation building, teams started arriving yesterday. They started practicing for the women's ACC tournament, which kicks off tomorrow. And it's just a really fun time to celebrate Greensboro. We're on the national stage, on national television, and really just get to show off what we have here.
We got all the concerts that are happening over the weekend, the free events, great for downtown and all the restaurants and hotels. So again, like you said, a lot of pride here.
Absolutely. Well, ahead of the women's tournament kicking off tomorrow, the Boston College team surprised some Guilford County students this morning. Peck Elementary students cheered the team on and got to ask the players questions about basketball, college, and really the experience of it all. Peck's principal says it was a great lesson.
We really like the opportunity for our students whenever possible to interact with members of our community, with athletes that are visiting our community, college students who are in our community, just to tell them and show them what the future looks like for when you go to college, when you compete at high levels, and just different organizations that come into our community have the opportunity to interact with them.
Meantime, all 15 ACC mascots were at Gillespie Park Elementary in Greensboro this morning. Safe to say the kids and the mascots had a blast.
The city of Greensboro is gearing up for the tournament too, and local businesses are looking for the assist. The Visitors Bureau says the women's and men's tournaments combined bring $21 million into the city. And with the first and second rounds of the NCAA coming here this year, you can add another $5 million. Local restaurants, shops, and hotels all get a piece of the pie.
Really excited about it. We hoping to have a lot of business, a lot of people in here.
We're looking for high volume. That's why we're just making sure our staff is beefed up for it. Really looking forward to it. To serving all the basketball teams coming in here.
The ACC Women's Tournament tips off tomorrow with a trio of games inside the Greensboro Coliseum. Wake Forest and Virginia gets things started at 1 p.m. Pitt and Clemson get underway at 3:30, followed by Georgia Tech and Boston College. Tickets on sale now. From the court to the diamond, Grimsley baseball players are getting a rare opportunity. Tonight, the varsity team opens its season with a game on the Greensboro Hoppers field. Chad has more on why.
Well, Lauren, so the Grasshoppers actually made the field available as the district builds a new Kaiser Middle School on top of Grimsley's old athletic fields. Well, now Grimsley will have a place to play. That decision last April actually caused quite a bit of controversy. Some members of the Grimsley Booster Club met with the school board wondering where the baseball team would play. No concrete plan was in place until the Hoppers announcement. Last summer, the district broke ground on the site of Kaiser's new middle school. The project is funded through the 2020 GCS bond that Guilford County voters approved. The district is using $300 million to renovate, upgrade, or rebuild 10 schools. Grimsley's new fields might not be built until 2025.
I'm so glad they came up with a decision because I know a lot of parents were frustrated about this. A lot of students as well. Where are we going to practice? So I'm glad they're offering their field for this.
And what a cool opportunity.
Yes.
If you are a high school baseball player to be able to play in a minor league baseball facility basically every day.
You probably feel like you're on top of the world like you are in the minor leagues, but I think it is a good feeling as well. I'm just glad that the kids have somewhere to practice.
Yeah, and it'll be nice when all these schools are finished. You know, voters have approved the money to rebuild, renovate these schools, and so I'm looking forward to seeing how that all pans out. Some of these schools we have seen really could use the work.
We could. They're pretty old. We know that they need improved AC systems, some of the flooring and different things like that. So a lot of parents and students excited for the new schools as well.
And Tim Buckley, I know what a beautiful day to be playing some baseball outside.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it makes you want to go out to the ballpark. I know we can't yet. The players can, but we maybe can't go watch them yet. It's that kind of weather. You want to have a hot dog and a soda or something, right? 77 and sunny in Winston-Salem. No humidity to deal with today, so we're not having any stickiness. It's just comfort. A really pleasant day to be outdoors. And showing you some of your hometown temperatures, we're looking at about 77 in Burlington here, 76 in Reedsville, about 73 across the border in Virginia, even the North Carolina mountains on a February day. They're in the 60s. I'll tell you, it might be enjoyable, it might be comfortable. That is really bad news for those ski resorts up in the higher elevations that have had just such a tough time doing snow this winter, as we have as well. Winds are coming in, a little bit of a nice breeze, 5 to 10 miles per hour out of the west right now. High pressure in control means no weather systems anywhere close to us. We are clear as far as the eye can see from North Carolina all the way to the Four Corners, the deep south, Florida too. Everyone's quiet. However, I do see a little bit of a slight change for tomorrow. High pressure sliding in from the north, slightly cooler air. We'll have temperatures that are held back from some clouds just a little bit. I'm forecasting upper 60s to near 70. That'll be tomorrow. Once we get beyond that, we have to start watching a rain concern again. I'm forecasting a couple of different rounds of rain. The first of those, Thursday morning. That's a pretty big soaking. It won't last the whole day. You'll get a big break Thursday afternoon. Then more rain is on the way for Thursday evening and into the day on Friday. In the meantime, enjoy this nice weather. We'll have more of it tomorrow. More clouds. Highs will be in the upper 60s. We'll talk more a little bit about your storm concerns by the end of the week in a few minutes.
Tim, thanks. Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup now. First up today, one of the last pandemic-related assistance programs is coming to an end. Extended SNAP benefits end tomorrow, impacting more than 1 million North Carolina families. Social Services says the program helped roughly 1.6 million North Carolinians buy food during the pandemic. Starting tomorrow, the average SNAP household will see a monthly loss of $95.
An update to a Medicaid situation regarding coverage for people with behavioral health and developmental disabilities. The state says it's now delaying putting tailored plans into effect. The start date was pushed from April to October, giving people more time to find in-network doctors. To learn more, search the term tailored plans on our website.
State senators are expected to consider a bill this week that would legalize medical marijuana. The Compassionate Care Act would allow doctors to prescribe marijuana for a variety of medical conditions like cancer, epilepsy, and PTSD. Last year, the Republican-led Senate passed a similar bill, but Republican leaders in the House killed it. The state bill meant to stop hair discrimination in the workplace is up for debate. Senators are considering what's called the Crown Act, meant to shield natural and protective hairstyles from prejudice at work. Hair texture could also be included in the protections.
Tomorrow is the last day of Black History Month, but that doesn't mean the learning has to end. The North Carolina Tourism Bureau put together a list of 10 locations you can explore across our state. 2 of them are here in the Triad. The International Civil Rights Center and Museum in Greensboro, where the Greensboro Four sat down and took a stand, and St. Phyllis Moravian Church in Winston-Salem, which is the oldest standing African-American church in our state. You can also support Triad Black-owned businesses year-round. For a list, text the word SHOP to this number, 336-379-5775, and we'll send you a link straight to your phone.
Hello. Hi. Ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together. You know, we got a couple cat cafes in the Triad. The whole concept, have a cup of coffee, hang out with the felines, maybe adopt one. Just recently, I went to a dog bar. The dogs run around, the owners have a beer, everyone is happy. So cats, dogs, these kinds of cafes or places have really gotten popular over the last few years.
I've never been to one.
Neither one.
Neither one.
I've never been to one, but I know the dog one that just opened up. Our producer Kayana went and took her dog, and she said she had a good time there.
I love watching all the dogs just frolicking around. Now, they have to be well behaved, I will say that.
Oh, and is that even possible?
Yes.
All the dogs? are well behaved? All
yes.
the dogs?
Yeah,
Really?
because if you're not well behaved, you can't be there.
Oh, like if you're aggressive or
If you're aggressive or you do the things that you're not supposed to do with other dogs, then yeah, no.
It's just like adults. When you're aggressive or you do things with other adults you're not supposed to at a bar, you
That's
can't
right.
go back.
They got a bouncer at the dog club.
There is a bouncer at the dog club, as a matter of fact. All right. As with every idea, it opens the idea for something else. So here's the latest animal-related cafe. Look who is looking at you and giving you the snake side eye. Then, of course, you could be having some lunch with these lizards. This is a reptile cafe in Malaysia. You come in, you hold a snake or two, maybe have a cup of coffee.
I really hope that people can see reptiles as also another type of pet that you can keep and love, because nowadays many people, right, someone coming from a animal science, not an environmental science background myself, people only care about furry animals, cats, dogs. So I hope showing the public how interesting these things are, we can cause them to have a better outlook on reptiles and the less loved animals.
They can have a better outlook. Like this young man right here, he says that his friend at school got a snake from here. So he asked his family to take them there for lunch and see if a new family pet was possibly an option. So what do you think about this rendition of an animal cafe?
To each their own. I mean, I'm not interested in getting a snake as a pet, but there are people out there that enjoy reptiles as pets, so I think it's a good idea for them.
I would. It's interesting, right? I'm receiving his point that he just made, which is we only care about the furry animals.
Yeah, the cute cuddly ones.
I think if we're honest with ourselves, there's some truth to that, right?
Yes, absolutely.
For sure.
So having said that, I don't need to go have a cup of coffee with the snake.
Right.
I would probably be more inclined to go to a reptile cafe than a dog or a cat cafe because they're at least
caged.
Yeah.
Yes.
Caged, right?
That's a big deal.
It's not. They're not running around, jumping all over everything, trying to lick you or whatever. So I like this better, just because I really like going to like the science center or the zoo because I like to look at animals
And watching them in the habitat.
Yes, this would be cool.
And I guess if this is set up to get you to buy some of
Yes.
those reptiles, then that makes a good point. So get your coffee and then test out the pet
That's right.
to see if you all get along. So I can see that concept
I'd like to
definitely
see like
working.
a tropical fish one.
I was just thinking about that, some sort of an aquarium.
Now that would be
cafe.
beautiful. Now that would be so
relaxing.
gorgeous. It would.
Yes.
I like that idea.
All right, well, enjoy whatever happens in whatever animal place you like to go to. We'll see you.
Did you know today is National Pancake Day? In honor of the day, IHOP is giving free short stacks of its famous buttermilk pancakes. The deal is only available for dine-in, and you have to be there before 7 p.m.
Sounds like dinner tonight. So this got me wondering, what do you prefer, pancakes, waffles, or French toast? Joe Nappy says pancakes 24/7, never liked French toast, give or take on waffles. Terry Hemingway, my cousin, she wrote team pancakes. I remember my mom cooking them, loved it. Edward Schmidt, waffles, they're crispier than pancakes. Pamela Joyner, French toast, it's so yummy. And then Vern Jameson, waffles go a long way, LOL with chicken and waffles, not to French toast, no to French toast, and no to pancakes. So lots of different answers there.
Wow.
I was actually surprised there weren't a lot of French toast lovers on my page because I love French toast out of all three of them.
One out of
that is my top one of all three. I could do it with the powdered sugar. I could do it with strawberries on top.
A lot of people are not agreeing with you.
Just syrup. I know. I was surprised about that.
I'm agreeing with you right now. It is my favorite out of all three. I think French toast is versatile. You can do different types of bread.
Yeah.
And if you do it at home, you can cut like a nice thick bread or a stale bread.
Texas toast.
It's really good. Yeah, the thicker the better.
Yeah.
I would say.
I am also, the top of the list is French toast,
Wow.
Yes,
followed by
okay.
waffles and pancakes. One weird thing we used to do when I was a kid with the pancakes was make a pancake and then put sugar and brown sugar in it and roll it up almost like a
crepe.
a taquito.
Really?
Or like
Just
a
eat
crepe.
it that way.
Huh. See, I think if you're comparing all three, a pancake can sometimes be too cakey or too dry, and a waffle can too. I think a French toast almost always is.
It's not possible to be too dry.
And
more butter and syrup.
to the comment that said that waffles go a long way, I've had French toast and chicken and French toast for
Really?
breakfast multiple times. There's some places that sell that. The Green Book downtown, what's it called? The Magnolia House. They have French toast and chicken, and then when you go other places, you can swap the waffles for French toast with the
Sweet
chicken.
and salty combination is real good.
Now I'm hungry.
Like a Dame's, oh man.
You gotta talk about weather.
Oh, it's nice weather, everybody. Hey, let's talk about that nice weather today. Beautiful stuff outside. Breakfast for dinner, perhaps? I don't know. Maybe you're grilling. I think you're grilling on a day like today with the sunshine that we had. Honestly, it hasn't been here all day. We had cloud cover this morning that went away by lunchtime, and now we're enjoying that blue sky. Just now getting your official high temperature in. Take a look at these numbers. They're really astounding. We got up to 77 for your high this afternoon. The average high is 57. That was basically our low temperature for today. So almost a record setter today. We didn't quite get there. 79, the record from 1948. The sun goes down, by the way, around 6:15 this evening. High pressure in control for tonight and for tomorrow. We will have more cloud cover tomorrow, though, and that could keep our temperatures down quite a bit compared to today. We'll be in the upper 60s, so about 10 degrees cooler. As far as the rest of your week goes, rain arrives on Thursday morning. We'll get a break Thursday afternoon with more rain shaping up for Thursday at night. Now, one thing I want you to keep an eye on, we'll talk more about this coming up at 5 and 6. There is going to be a risk of strong to severe thunderstorms on Friday. A big chunk of the south has been outlined here by the Weather Service. They think it's a good possibility, and I do too, so we'll keep you posted. Looking ahead to the weekend, that's the good news. Dry weather, 60s Saturday, 50s Sunday.
Actually liked pancakes and waffles better. I was surprised there weren't more French toast.
Hey there, we're talking about French toast and how good it is. 1, 2.
Hey, you should flip-flop the Alamance Burlington educator and our FBI threatening guy.
It's called milk and an Oreo cookie. They forever go together like a classic combination.
Check 1, 2, 3, 3. Friendly Center. That's the one I used to all.
Hannah's here, and I'm standing on a box.
Hey, it's time for my 2 cents, and today I wanted to talk about the biggest rabbit hole in my life. That is YouTube. If there's anything that sucks the time of day away from me just like that, it is YouTube. A lot of you know I'm a TV trivia buff. I love like classic TV. Even before I was born, I just like that genre and just that the early days of TV. So I went recently through my YouTube history. This shows my ADHD perfectly. Yes, there was a lot of Johnny Carson because he was kind of my idol growing up. Yes, there was a lot of old 1970 shows, Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, Three's Company, Fantasy Island, Love Boat. All of that was there. However, listen to some of the other things. No rhyme or reason. This is how the Chilton brain works. And just ask my wife. A dog drinking water in slow motion. Don't know why that was a thing. Rump Shaker by Rex and Effect. Great song. A Christmas Story Christmas trailer. All right, that makes sense. The musical instrument, the theremin. If you've never seen one of those, it's that sound from like old 1950s sci-fi. Yeah, look that one up. You'll be stuck for 2 hours. Will and Grace bloopers, understandable. The Eurostep in basketball. And Duke suffers largest defeat from an unranked team ever, that being NC State. Now, that's an example of how across the board I am when it comes to YouTube. I jump from one ridiculously unrelated thing to another, and I look up and it's been 3 hours. I kid you not. YouTube should be banned at my house, but that will never happen because my little ADHD brain wants to jump all around YouTube everywhere it can go. I hope you're not like me. God rest your soul. Just talk to my wife. It drives her crazy. That's just my 2 cents, and that's your 4 to 5, and I gotta go because I got some YouTube videos to watch.
In the last 40 days, 2 deadly shootings occurred in Winston-Salem, both on Burke Street, just 260 feet apart. The most recent